Welcome back, everybody. This is a rifle review that has been a long time in the making. So basically the history on this and how it came to be is that in 2016 I was down at the Iraq Veteran 888 YouTube shoot, and I believe that was in October. I could be wrong on that, but end of 2016-ish. Before the winter anyway, and Brownells was down there, and they had a rifle very similar to this one set up for folks to shoot, and I definitely put some rounds through it. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'll take some of that, please, and went out to the line, put some rounds through it, and I actually asked them, I said, hey, are you guys offering this? I need to get one of these in for the channel for a review, and they said no. However, they offered the vast majority of the parts that were in that rifle, really everything except for the furniture at the time. So basically I went on their website and looked all the different parts up, put orders in for them. However, pretty much everything was on back order, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, pretty much everything's on back order right now as well when you guys go over to check it out. But they definitely get parts in every couple months, and they will ship it out when they back order, which is exactly what happened. So I think I put the order in October and have been waiting on parts. They all came in, I think, by, I want to say March maybe time frame, March or February, and we had all the parts in. So if you're patient, they will come in, but these are in very high demand, and there's just not a lot of people making new parts that are M16A1 correct. So that's just the way it is, unfortunately, and again, very high demand. So basically we got the rifle together, started putting some photos out there on social media, and they went crazy. You guys a lot of times will react to my stuff very positively, but for this we had insane amounts of reaction just all over the place. Everyone wanted to see the video, so that's what you're watching here today. So what we're going to do, of course, is let the dogs take a look at it and make sure it works all right in their eyes, and then we're going to step out to the range, do an accuracy test as best as we can with the iron sights, come back in, go over all the different parts, the specs of them, and sort of what makes it the rifle that you see, and then at the end we'll let you know what we think of it overall. Now we're going to see what kind of accuracy we can get out of this rifle right here. There's a lot of interesting variables going on. First and foremost is that I am not an expert iron sight shooter at all. I'm pretty good, but the guys at Camp Perry certainly would tighten up the groups that you're about to see in my estimation. So there's that. Number two, there is a A2 front sight post that's actually in the barrel assembly here that comes from Brownells. They do sell an A1 front sight post, so if you want to swap them out to make it more correct and also give you a little bit better accuracy potential, you could do that. I didn't do that, so that's another variable here. But we're going to see what we can do and hopefully do our best. So target is downrange at 100 yards. I made bigger squares so that way I can see them a little bit better with my eyes. I have good vision for what it's worth. I have 20/10 vision, so that's not a problem. And we got a few loads we're going to put through it. The one in the rifle right now is the Freedom Munitions 5.56 M193 load. So that's, you know, your standard mil-spec loading. And we're going to see how that does in the 1 in 12 barrel. And then we have a couple heavier loads that I'm actually kind of interested to see, because I've done testing here before on the channel that has shown that, you know, the twist rate isn't all that important. It plays a role, but not a huge role like people seem to think on the forums. But we'll see what it does in this rifle. So again, 193 in the rifle and a couple other loads coming up. Target downrange 100 yards. Wind's not too bad today, shouldn't play a role. And the rest is the H&K Precision rest, for those wondering. So enough yapping, let's get to shooting. Well, you guys know what that group looks like right now. I sure don't. So
Who knows? They all felt good. One thing I want to point out, since I guess we'd have to discuss it later in the video anyway, is that I'm using a Brownells, their mil-spec lower parts kit here, with the exception of the grip, of course. And the trigger on it is actually pretty good. It breaks heavy. It's actually quite heavy. It breaks right at like 8 to 9 pounds. So for an AR, it's very heavy. However, it's crisp, and it has a really strong reset. So anybody who's used a sort of like a Bravo Company trigger before, where they have that real strong trigger reset spring, other companies have it too. Like Psionics has it, Sons of Liberty Gunworks, they all have the same thing. It feels like that. So I personally like that. It's just very positive. So anyway, what we have next going in the rifle is some Freedom Munitions. This is their 69 grain hollow point bolt tail load. This one is one of their Pro Match series, so it should be pretty accurate stuff in most rifles. Again, 1 in 12 twist. We'll see how it does. One thing I want to point out is that if you guys are looking to purchase anything for Freedom Munitions, make sure you use the Mr. Guns and Gear discount code that you see here on the bottom of your screen. That'll get you 5% off any orders over there. So kind of cool that Freedom does that for our viewers here. I appreciate it. All right, we're gonna go top left here and see how this one groups. Those felt good too, so these groups are jacked up. I don't know what to tell you. Could be just me and the iron sights. If they're great, then I'll take credit for that as well. So the next load we have is one of the loads that I've used here on the channel for years. Very consistent load across a lot of different rifles. It's the Federal Gold Medal Match. This one here, I believe, is a 69 grain as well. Yes, it is. It's a 69 grain Match King load. So we'll load that up and we'll go top right. Let's go see how it did. All in all, I'll take those groups for sure with me and iron sights. So a couple interesting results there in terms of groups. I'm gonna have to review the footage. You guys already saw it, but two groups kind of migrated together due to point of impact shift with different loads. But I'm guessing I know what happened just by looking at it. So if I'm wrong, I'll annotate it below. So first load, M193. I think what we had was basically these loads right here, these 5. It's my guess. And extreme spread on that is 2 1/4 inches with the M193. They moved over here with the 69 grain Freedom Munition stuff, the hollow point bolt tail. And again, one thing we noted was even the M193, which is what it was zeroed for, at least as best as I could do it, 100 yards with irons, we were a little bit left on that. So this one looked like it moved a little bit to the left as well, even from the M193. Extreme spread on that was right at 2 inches with the 69 grain load. Then the gold medal match over here, which again, I'm guessing is these 5. And that one moved way to the left. Just point of impact shift, different loads. You know, it's something to be aware of, guys, with different rifles out there. Right there, we're at 1 7/8 inches, so just under 2 inches. So all those groups, in my opinion, with iron sights at 100 yards, with me behind the rifle, I'll take all of them. The rifle shoots pretty well, and certainly it's plenty of fun.
For the details, we'll start out on the muzzle and kind of work our way back. What you see on there is the M16A1 bird caged flash hider. So when I've posted pictures of this on social media, a lot of folks said that this was the incorrect flash hider, when in fact that's not true. It absolutely is a correct flash hider. In fact, from what I've read on various different forums and books, this was actually adopted by the military, by the Army anyway, in 1967. So throughout the majority of Vietnam, which of course this rifle is synonymous with, this was the standard issue flash hider. Of course, you found both the 3-prong and this out there, and I do have 3 prongs as well. You guys have seen them here on the channel before, but both of them are correct. So sort of, you know, flip a coin in terms of which one you're going to want. The barrel here is Brownells 20-inch retro barrel assembly. This has the correct, for the time period, 1 to 12 twist that we talked about out there on the range. You guys saw it was plenty capable of getting good accuracy with any type of bullet weight anyway that we used. And it's a very high quality barrel, actually. You look at the specs, they're top notch. It's 4150 CMV mil spec steel. It is chrome lined. Up front here, since it is the M16A1 profile barrel, this is a .625 front sight block here that we have, and like I talked about out there, it does not have the A1 front sight, unfortunately, but it's also not F marked, which is again correct for the era. So that's certainly a good thing. It has a triangle handguard cap on there, rifle length gas system, of course, and it comes with the Delta ring, spring assembly, all that stuff that you see back here. And this is the correct one, again, for the M16A1. Of course, the more modern ones kind of look like the one we have here off to the side to sort of show you what I'm talking about here. This is a current Colt rifle, and you can see it's a different style overall. And that's the correct one. It all comes with it, and definitely a very good barrel, as you guys saw, shoots well, and the specs are great as well. Before moving further back, we'll just talk about all the furniture. You guys can see here, this furniture set here is still a little bit grimy and dirty. This is a surplus set that I got. I can't remember where, but I'll put the website in the bottom of your screen here so you guys can check it out. And this one, I believe, was $114, and they had different grades. They had brand new old stock stuff that was much more expensive, and then they had like really disgusting stuff. I went for the not just most disgusting, but sort of disgusting stuff, because I kind of wanted it to have a worn, weathered look to it. But as you can see here, we have the heat shields on there. Again, it is mil-spec issued furniture, and they are triangle handguard caps. So when you put them on, they're going to look like that, as you guys have seen throughout the video. It's very ergonomic. I have zero issues with it. Even you guys who want to do the Costa grip when you get out front, it's nice and narrow as well. But either way you hold it, very ergonomic grip in my opinion. Additionally, excuse me as I drop that off camera. Additionally, in terms of ergonomic, I think the A1 grip is much more ergonomic, at least to me anyway, than the A2. So the big difference, of course, is that we don't have the hump here that you have on the A2. It's hollow underneath. It has a good grippy surface here on the sides, so no issues there. To me, it is better than the A2. And again, you're going to see a common theme here with the stock as well. The A1 stock I prefer over the A2 stock as well. It's a little bit shorter, and again, to me, it just feels a little bit better, a little bit more natural. Again, I'm 6 feet tall, for those who are new to the channel, so if you're a little bit taller, you may prefer the A2, but for me, the A1 just sort of feels right, and you know, the whole furniture set again came as one set, and you can see it definitely has some weathering and use to it, but to me it looks good overall. The upper receiver here is made of 7075 T6 aluminum forged product, just like some of the later M16A1s. Some of the earlier ones were 6061 as I understand it, but the ones that majority of them would be the 7075, which is generally preferable anyway for most folks out there. So one thing that's big that you notice here that's different is there's no shell deflector. So again, we'll take out the Colt M4 as an example, just to kind of show you guys current or new versus old, if you will. So you have the big shell deflector here, and one thing is if you're a left-handed shooter, you may get some brass to the face with this upper receiver. You may not, just going to depend on the load you're using, but wanted to point that out there. Also, the charging or carry handle, excuse me, is built right into the upper receiver, which they were, of course, on those rifles back then. We have our M16A1 rear sight. It's user adjustable. You can use a bullet tip. They also have a special tool for it. Either way, you can adjust your windage that way. It does not have M4 feed ramps, which of course would be correct for that as well. And speaking of correctness, one thing that I know on, again, my social media when I've posted pictures of this that people talked a good bit about was the lack of a teardrop here on the forward assist. So some of the M16A1s had teardrops, some didn't. The teardrop, of course, is sort of iconic with it. Brownells carries both. You guys can pick up whichever one you want. The bolt carrier group we went with for this build was the Brownells mil-spec bolt carrier group, and it's not just mil-spec in terms of dimensions. It has all the mil-spec features that I can see out there that you'd find on a Colt or BCM, just going by their spec sheets. That's certainly a good thing and speaks very well for this bolt carrier group. So we'll take a look at it piece by piece. We have an 8620 phosphate carrier here. You can see it is full auto profile, very good staking up front, tool steel where there needs to be, so that's certainly a good thing. It is chrome lined here in the carrier as well as in the gas key, so no issues at all. Solid staking there as well. The ancillary parts there are mil spec as well in terms of true to the TDP. The bolt itself is individually MP and HP tested, and it's 158 Carpenter steel as well. And our extractor here is, again, mil-spec materials, and it does have the O-ring and black insert. Now, if you need to, I know AR aficionados out there may say you need one or the other, not both. Hey, we'll leave that up to you guys. You can use either one. It's not specifically built for the M16A1, if you will. It is just their mil-spec bolt carrier group. And again, like I said, just going through the specs piece by piece, a top-notch piece of kit here for sure. The lower receiver is 7075 T6 aluminum, and I should point out that it does have the matte black anodized finish, as does the upper. So M16A1s out there, you're going to find them with both matte black like this finishes, as well as the gray, sort of dull gray finish out there. Both, again, are correct for the A1. A few things you'll notice here that are different is the profile up front is different than the standard M4, M16A2, and as well as there's no reinforcement here in the rear. We'll grab that Colt again from off camera and sort of give you a quick idea of what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to tell, but the profile up front is slightly different, the way the pin goes in, and then it's pretty easy to tell here that the reinforcement is not present here on the A1 lower. So again, that's correct. That's going to be correct for a number of different retro builds, XM 177s, and many others. So here on the right-hand side of it, you'll notice a couple things. Some of the early M16A1s didn't have this fencing here on the lower. This one does, but again, a lot of the later ones did, so it's correct either way. You'll also notice again that we don't have the reinforcement here on the lower receiver that you would have on the current style of lower receivers. Additionally, there is no fire and safe markings, again, correct to the M16A1. The lower build kit that we went with is just I believe it's a critical capabilities kit from Brownells, relatively inexpensive. However, I believe they do sell Colt lower part kits as well. They're just a little bit more expensive, of course. And the buffer tube kit that we went with is the M16A1 kit that Brownells offers. Again, I think they sell Colt as well. They're just more expensive, but the A1 kit is what we have on here. Of course, it works perfectly with the A1 stock. For this video, we predominantly used 20-round magazines, and when we did, we used the Brownells mags here. These are the Brownells USGI 20-rounders, and they are true to the mil-spec in terms of dimension and materials. You'll see they have the black follower, just like the later Colts did. And some of the earlier M16 mags, of course, we're going to have the waffle pattern, but those are very expensive these days. These are reasonably priced, and again, they're made to mil-spec, and very, very good mags. We had zero issues out of them. I think I have 6 of these in and have yet had an issue with any of them. We hit most of the highlights except for the price, which I know you guys want to know. So again, the parts were back ordered and we got them in piece by piece, but when I put the order in, you guys can see the breakdown of the parts here on the screen and exactly how much they ran. Again, if you want to go Colt parts, it can be a little bit more expensive, right? You can go a little cheaper on the bolt carrier group. That was sort of a premium part, but if you guys watch the channel, you know I'm a big fan of having a very good bolt carrier group and a very good barrel, and this rifle absolutely meets that standard for sure. And I think it says on the screen there 915 or 913 or something like that that you guys are looking at. However, Brownells had a coupon code at the time and it was like $30 off, so it was actually even less than that out the door. So very good rifle for the money, and you're going to have a hard time picking up any sort of A1 clones for less than that. In fact, I don't think it's possible in today's market. And again, the specs are great, so that alone, and you guys saw the way it shoots, are just a good thing. If you can get this rifle at a sub $900 price point, I think you're doing pretty well. So what do we think of it overall? Number one, the A1 rifle has a lot of pros and cons to it. I'm not a huge fan of the rear sight. I do tend to personally prefer the A2, but it's very capable. With the A1 front sight on there, it'd be even more capable. 20-inch barrel, as you guys saw, just shoots everything really well. The 1 in 12 twist doesn't seem to have a problem at all with any of the weights that we put through it today. Of course, it's designed for the 55 grain and lighter stuff, but shot them all well in our example. The 20-inch AR-15, those that follow me on social media, watch some of my other videos, know is absolutely one of my favorite rifles on the planet to shoot. It is so enjoyable. You can absolutely tell that the rifle was designed for this type of setup, whether it be the A2 or the A1. It just shoots so soft, it's so controllable, even with, you know, a bird cage out front. Has no issues at all keeping it on target, and with quality components, quality ammo, it'll be a very, very reliable system. It's going to have very low wear and tear on the parts. You're going to be able to put a ton of rounds through it and not have to worry about it. We've had zero malfunctions of any kind through this rifle. I think it's got right around 800 rounds through at this point, so not a ton, but enough, in my opinion anyway, to get a pretty good evaluation of how it works. And it's just fun to shoot. Like literally, we had a girl over our house today. My wife and I did, a lady, I should say, who was in the Army back in the 90s. And this was out on the table because I'm preparing for this review. And she saw it and she said, "Oh my God, that's exactly like the one I had in basic training." So it just definitely brings back nostalgia. And again, very, very fun shooter. Without question, it's a capable rifle as well, as you guys saw there with the accuracy portion. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can always post down below in the comment section. Also down there in the comment section, I'm going to link to every single part that you guys see in this rifle. If you want to build a rifle just like it, the links will be down there for you. So that's about it. Questions down there. You can also post those questions over at my Facebook page as always. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. This was a very fun video to shoot, and we'll see you in the next video.